Okay, everybody, what's going on? I have to make some quick announcements before I get into what I'm going to be talking about on this video. First is an email was rather sent out to all of the subscribers to the private newsletter. So you'll now be getting updates every time there's a blog post on the Private Investigation Enterprises blog, which is called the Stellar Guide, which plans are in developments to just turn it into a digital magazine, really. But we're at where we're at right now. When you see it, you'll see it. This is where, so for those of you who may be wondering also, where are like the celebrity photos, the celebrity erotic photos and stuff like that that used to be on the Patreon channel, those have been switched over to the Stellar Guide. All right, so there's no charge for that as well either anymore. It's for your viewing pleasure. Those photos, though, are copywritten by U.S. Copyright Office. So just letting you know in case you want to like do stuff with them and think you're going to come up off of this type of stuff that's there. Like, I'd advise not to do it. You know what I mean? But those photos are there. You have to actually look on the blog to find it. There's like photos that navigate you to the place where you want to go and stuff like that. So just make sure you look if you don't see it. It's not in the open like that. What else is going on? The Patreon page, right, for aspect videos. A lot of you are still requesting aspect videos. You can go to Patreon. You can become a patron now for $20 a month. You can request all of the planetary aspects you want that I can fulfill the obligation for. The only thing is, I'm only doing 3 points at a time, or 3 planets at a time. So if you're trying to squeeze all 9 planets in, just forget about it. If that's what you want to do, just get a natal reading. You know what I'm saying? Get a natal chart reading and we'll do it that way. But this helps me to filter out the whole process of helping people do aspect videos, so I can utilize the channel to do other videos such as the one that I'm about to do. Also, my old website should be shut down, excuse me. If it's not shut down right now, it will be soon. I've also switched that over to the a new blog site called Benjamin Entertainment. Those links, all of these links that I'm describing, will be in the description box of every video from this point forward, and I'm going to go back on the old videos and revise those as well, so that the links will be there. But there will be showcasing fashion models, music trailers, and there will also be, people will begin to start posting there. You may see, different people start blogging there as well. So it's kind of like the same thing that was there. It's just going to be shipped over to that blog in a more blog type of forum, if you will. And it'll also be like links to these YouTube channels, these YouTube videos. What else is going on now? The videos, the music that I've been posting lately, I got pulled. So if you've been wondering where those songs are now, you can't find them, where your comments and stuff like that are, they're all gone. I've been flagged. I don't know what happened. I don't know who did it or whatever the case may be. It's not really my concern, you know what I'm saying? I just got the slap in the wrist, the warning that says, you can't put titties on your videos. So that's pretty much what I got told, you know what I'm saying? Despite the creative process. Now, mind you, I did appeal it, you know what I'm saying? And I put the whole scholastic twist on it, on how, retrograde deals with astrology, deals with, scholastic information and stuff like that. But they didn't get back to me, so I guess I just take that as a nice fucking try, but we're not hearing that shit. You know what I mean? No titties. So what I'll do is I'll repost a couple of the leaks from the album Women Don't Wear Bras in Williamsburg, and I'll just repost them, but I'll put my logo on front of the single covers instead of titties for all of the single covers. Now, to extend on that, this project, the videos that I have for this project, I'm going to shift, because I took all the videos down too, because I got like shorties twerking their ass cheeks with no panties on and all types of wild shit, you know what I'm saying? So I removed all of the videos because I didn't get flagged on those ones. But I don't want to get flagged, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go against the community guidelines and mess up a whole lot of things. So I just removed all of them. I will be shifting those videos over to the Stellar Guide as well. Now, I'm thinking of doing a digital version of this album and also a tangible, like, hardware version of this album. I think hardware is going to be where we're going back to, because software is getting so risky these days with the flags and all of the, the rules and regulations, the terms and conditions are kind of like getting in the way of creative processes. So I think I'm going to make a tangible version of this album to where you'll see the unseen before types of content or whatever the case may be. But you can go to the Stellar Guide and actually view the videos with the, like, it won't be flagged there. So the digital version, it will be over there. You'll be able to see certain stuff that I feel is necessary for the creative process, which entails titties. I mean, the name of the project is called Women Don't Wear Bras in Williamsburg. You know what I mean? But here nor there. I don't want to spend too much time on that. I want to get to this video. I just want to make sure I get that in there. Anything else? No, the Patreon channel link will also be in the description box for everybody. And ebooks. Oh, I do have a new Pi site. So for everyone who's buying astrological products and services, that will no longer be on the BenjaminBugs.net website as well because it's shut down, right? So there will be a link to my new website. So you can go there and all of the products are there. All of the products and services are there. They're already categorized, organized, ready to go. I already got it in process. I've already made some sales and everything. So, excuse me, everything's good to go. The ebooks are also there. All right, so the ebooks are for sale there as well. So, I'm thinking that possibly the Women Don't Wear Bras in Williamsburg project will be distributed there digitally as well. That's not final yet. So if anything, I'll make an update about that, or you could just ask me about it through email or whatever if you're curious about it. All right. That's almost 7 minutes. Let's get into this. This video is about the government shutdown. And, are you in your feelings about this? When I say in your feelings, let me be more clear about that, because that term is like used too loosely these days. Are you upset? Are you upset to the point of being responsive in a negative way and being pessimistic about what's going on? Me, for the most part, Cancer Moon has no effect on me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And I was like, I glanced at a couple of other astrologers, like listening to what they had to say about what's about to happen in the stand and third. And, what they said probably did happen for some people, but potentially because of my natal placements, I just don't feel it, And I just said this in the Secret Houses podcast, like, I feel like I'm doing the nurturing more than I'm actually being nurtured by anyone or anything. Oh, shout out to the people that gave me a shout out today, though, this morning. They must have just felt it, so maybe that was like an intuitive spark of the water moon being full and everything. So I appreciate that, but for the most part, like, I don't feel like this I'm being smothered with tits, like, oh, come on, eat from here. You know what I mean? I guess that's kind of like symbolic, right? I got shut down for putting titties out there, right? But I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel, because I was kind of late on even hearing about this whole government shutdown thing, right? So when I heard about it, I was like, okay, but this is what I want to say, right? And I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. Like, this is where the president shows how much of a genius he is. I don't care what you say. I'm going to explain myself, though, because I know that's just not enough for most people, right? But you got to understand this, right? When he makes this statement that he will shut down the government to get done what he wants to get done, which is a border patrol wall that protects the American citizens, right? What you should do, or what I think any smart person would do, is look at the response. Again, the moon, the full moon being inside of Cancer. Look at the response, the reaction from the local leaders who are obviously opposed of his decision, right? Their thing is, when they get and they start to make their speeches, they're preying on the feelings and the vulnerabilities of the citizens of this nation. Because they're they're selling people fear right now. Oh, this is what happens when the president is disagreeing with us, and this is what will happen if the government shuts down. So they start telling you all of the terrible things, right? But the people that they're really talking to is the underclass, the working class, right? They're not even talking to wealthy people, because wealthy people are going to be okay should this government shut down, right? So that's one thing to look at. But not only that, why are they speaking to the underclass and the working class? It's because they rule over the underclass and the working class. That's right, I said it. Pretty sure most of y'all know. If y'all watching this channel, y'all know this already. But in case you did not know this already, yes. And I'm going to clarify that a little bit more too. Because now look, if the government does actually shut down, it's going to empower. It has the potential to empower the people who are ruled over by government. But you have to know how to play ball. You got to know how to play a game, right? So let's look at the things that they threaten to take away first. Food stamps is one of them. But first, before I get to the things that they're taking away, let's talk about what was mentioned that they're going to keep, and that's health care. All right, so pretty much the drug dealers are still going to make their money. You understand what I'm talking about? So all of the health care benefits that people need, which was mandated by the Obama administration, right? You have to go get your drugs now. You have to go to the hospital now. You have to have insurance now, right? So, that's still in business because that was part of the stipulations which enabled the Obama administration to even get that deal to go through. And he went through the ringer to get that done, to each his own, right? So me personally, my personal experience with that is like around 2014, I started studying organ harvesting in China. When they was, I read up on people like getting on these trains, going away to this far away land in China, and then next thing you know, they're missing. They come up in a missing report. I think it's about 400 women missing in the United States right now too. Not saying that there's any connection. So, once I studied that, I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not taking any flu shots. Not that I ever have, but I'm not taking any flu shots. I'll take care of myself. So what I'm saying is prevention methods I have found to be much more effective than actually going to get diagnosed with something from a person who was schooled to give me drugs. But this is what is still going to be able to be accessible should the government shut down. Oh, you can still go get your drugs and the elderly can still get their money. So, not saying that there's any connection, right? So, now, NYCHA is threatened, food stamps is threatened, MTA is threatened, police is threatened. All right, so government shuts down, it's less police. So what's going to happen? The criminals are going to come out and want to invade homes. They're going to want to invade healthy homes. So, this gives the opportunity for, first, with less police, less African Americans will be murdered, right? Criminals will want to invade healthy people's homes. Well, now people who have just been itching to use their guns can get to kill people who are not educated enough to make money without crime, right? And we can exercise the true American right to bear arms and kill any motherfucker that tries to oppose us. If you take the MTA out, what happens? Oh, how are you going to get to and from work? Well, if you made enough money at your job, working class and underclass people, then you wouldn't have to worry about those type of transportation costs, right? It's not a thing, you see. But when you don't rebel and try to negotiate with your bosses about getting paid a higher wage, you take that for granted. It's just like, oh, I'll go back and forth to work with what they pay me with, and I'll be broke at the end of the week, when you should really have more money left over at the end of the week. It's pretty much what I'm saying. You should be able to afford a vehicle. But not only that, you have to start questioning this. Well, how are they going to fire a whole borough because we can't get to work? That's not our fault. So really the businesses have to talk to the government, not to the people. You know what I'm saying? The government is just like, oh, okay, well, we've been housed in this urban area, right? Because I'm going to get to NYCHA in a minute. We've been housed in this urban area, and my rent is $1,400 a month because y'all said the value of this place is that much because I live near a train. And I can get to this work facility that might be somewhere in Manhattan 9 times out of 10. That's going to pay me this amount of money to get back and forth, right? So if y'all remove the MTA because of the government shutdown, then y'all got to go negotiate with the business owners who pretty much have not paid us enough money to get to work without the MTA. You know what I'm saying? So it's really not on the people. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to remove? You're going to also remove NYCHA workers, right? So let me get this right. You're going to remove people who come to my apartments, to our apartments to fix things that we should have been brought up and raised to fix on our own? Like sinks and toilets? You trying to cabinet work? Like none of us know any of these things? Oh, those are the people that you're going to fire? Well, so be it. Maybe I need to learn how to use a wrench, right? Not me. I know how to use a wrench. I'm waiting for my shower head now. I'm going to use a wrench and I'm going to change my own shower head. These are things you're supposed to be born, the type of skill set you're supposed to be born and use with. Yet your tax. All right. So what I want you to do, right? Even if you're not part of the underclass or the working class, this is what I want you to do. I want you to tally up food stamps also, right? How much food stamps would be in your, how big would your paycheck be if the money that you got for food stamps was paid to you in a paycheck in wages, right? So this is what I'm saying. So to even validate my argument even more on my stance on this whole government shutdown, I see the upside in things, is to go to salary.com and look at the national salary allocated to the positions that you work in, or that the people work in, your family members that they work in. And I can almost guarantee you that they're getting paid less than the national average wage is. And if that is correct, then you are being duped. You're being, I'm going to use the word duped. You're being duped. You've been being robbed. I'm going to use that word too. You've been being robbed, right? So what I want you to do is now allocate the average amount of food stamps, which is only 1% of the GDP tax allocation, by the way, for everybody who just swears that all of the people on welfare are taking all of their taxpayer money. It's only 1%. But I checked in 2014, so you may want to check again, but I doubt that it's increased that significantly. But anyway, here nor there. Let's say you allocate the average amount of food stamps and you put it into a paycheck, which they probably deserve when you do the difference, the math of the difference between the national salary from what they're supposed to earn, right? Then you will see their check. They won't need food stamps. So again, you're going to take away a whole bunch of workers who are opening cases on people who need food stamps. Fire them. Get rid of them. Make these workers in Manhattan pay these people what they're supposed to be paid. Fire them. You see the upside? So I'm just explaining all of the upsides, right? What else? Again, I said night shift workers. You're going to fire the night shift workers because they're not going to be able to come fix the sinks? Okay, well, I guess it's time for American citizens to learn how to fix their sinks, right? Who else is getting fired? Oh, potentially. I'm just saying. And I'm not even going to call it a worst case scenario. I'm just saying if this thing continues and it drags out, right? Tally that up. Now tally up the MTA cost of what it costs the average person to get to and from work every day, right? Tally that up. Now I want you to also tally the commute that it takes to get to and from work and allocate that towards wage earning. How much would you get paid in an hour based upon, let's say some people go to and from work for 3 hours. So if you allocate that to earning power, allocate that as well, right? Think about, and then when you add all of this up, this is all of the money that a person, an average citizen, would be saving. And if not saving, have money to free up to spend on other things, or even save at that, whatever they choose to do. But do you see the financial freedom that is involved with the lessening of government, the deterioration of bureaucracy? Now, of course, people who've been ruling over people who allegedly don't know how to govern themselves, they're going to be upset at someone wanting to shut them down, right? But the more that your government increases, the less power you have as a citizen, the less of an opportunity you have at sovereignty. You understand what I'm talking about? So, sure, things may get rough. You know what I'm saying? But it depends on how you perceive it to be. This may be the actual upside that everyone needs, because let me tell you this, right? When you look at all of the things, they also talked about childcare, right? Or it'll get in the way of childcare. How many children, how many videos have you seen circulating of babysitters beating up other people's children? Raping other people's children. So again, I want you to look at what these local leaders are mentioning as the things that are going to be taken away from you if this government shuts down, if this president doesn't get their wall. And really ask yourself, do you need those things? Is that what the community, the nation as a whole actually needs? Abusive babysitters? Food stamps that is only allocated because merchants and business owners are not paying the correct wage? Not only that, they have a better opportunity at hiring people for lower wages without a border wall or without border protection. I'm not saying that the wall is going to do what everybody thinks it's going to do. I don't know. They better have some technology into it. I'm actually interested in it now because this is a headline. But I digressed a bit. Think about now organization. Now, this is what I want to talk about as well with this. Capricorn, this deals with Capricorn and real estate, because I know you haven't heard anything about astrology yet. And you're like, well, what are you doing? Are you a journalist now? No, I'm not. But Capricorn, soon as the sun entered Capricorn is when I actually heard about this. And when I said that it actually makes sense. Because Capricorn is real estate. Capricorn is about owning land, owning buildings. So, of course, this president wants to build his wall, right? He's a builder by nature, all right? So this is, again, his natal chart expressing itself, right? Or who he is. He's a real estate builder, right? So he wants to build the wall. If anybody's going to do it, it probably should be him to do it, right? The same way that the Obama administration went through the ringer to get that Obamacare through, is probably the lengths that this president is willing to go through to get this wall. Now, with that being said, with the wall being built, let's look at the organization, right? I don't know if you've seen the video that was floating around recently when the group of Mexicans, and I don't like to do this whole Mexican, I don't like to do this, but I need to make a couple of points here. But they all came together on a construction site and they all walked off of the site because they were being lowballed. They just was not with it, right? So it wasn't one of them that walked off. They all walked off. They had a group meeting, which probably didn't last long, and they was like, took off their hats and got up out of there, right? That's organization. So the power of organization, I want to be extensive on that as well, right? Is that if you're being responsive to the point of you're ready to go loot and stuff like that, especially this is an issue for. Listen, let me regroup. Let me start here. I heard, and I don't know how true this is. You guys let me know that there's a GoFundMe account that has just raised $15 million to build the wall if the government doesn't agree to get it done. Now, if this is true, I want you to understand and make the distinction and the difference between sovereignty and being ruled by your government. See, democracy, that whole Democrat thing, loves power, but not natural birthright born given power. Power accumulated by being able to rule over others. That's what democracy is. All right? Now, and also invades the sovereign people. That's what democracy does. Oh, you're not tough? Well, we're going to take over your stuff. We're going to take your stuff. We're going to take your stuff. We're going to take your rights. That's how democracy moves in this nation today. I don't know about what happened before me, like I read books and stuff, but I wasn't here, man. I'm telling you what I see now. You know what I'm saying? So, again, if you think that you're going to loot and riot, that's exactly what the word democracy means. Demo means the demolition, to demolish, right? An angry mob. If your response to that whole, oh, they got 15 million, because I heard somebody say Flint, Michigan, like the response on the meme was Michigan still doesn't have clean water. And my response to that is, y'all just seen my video not too long ago. Look, invest and organize in your own. You know what I'm saying? Don't depend on night workers to come fix your equipment and fix your stuff up. Go to the hardware store and get the stuff yourself. If you want to filter out water, go buy a water filter and rearrange your sink and rearrange. You're paying rent there, right? So do the things that you need to do. And this is what I'm saying. Organize. If you organize efficiently, you don't need these people, and you will understand why people are going in their own pocket, pulling their own resources to build a wall, regardless if government says so or not. To me, that's power. To me, that's power. And it's so silent. It's not like, oh, we're going to grab picket signs and we're going to go walk on through Manhattan and we're going to stand in front of the Bull on Wall Street and we're going to march and take buses to Washington, D.C. Like, all of that is loud, noisy, and I guess a construct of cancer. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. You know what I mean? But that whole, let's put 15 million, is this true? Let's put $15 million together and who cares what the government has to say? We'll build a wall without them. We'll kick out. I guess what you're saying inadvertently is we'll kick our own government out. So this goes to show you, like, granted, let's say the government doesn't shut down or eventually people let up. It's still going to be like a cancer construct because it's like, oh, my poor baby, here, take my titty, put my titty back in your mouth. And it's like, okay, put a Band-Aid back on the ever-increasing problem that is evident. Or we can just get down to the nitty-gritty, do what really needs to be done, organize, structure as the sun and the sun and Capricorn suggests, get cold and rigid about it, be stern about it, and not responsive and reactive and, oh, I need a drink, this is too much, or whatever people's coping methods are when they are facing some type of adversity, or even some people may not even be personally experiencing it, but they want to be spokespeople for it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying, look, utilize astrology and be aware of the signs. Utilize the signs that's right in front of you that shows you exactly what's going on. See, because look, the sun represents governance, right? The 10th house represents government, but the sun alone represents governance. So alone, in an isolated perspective, excuse me, what it's telling you is every soul has the capability to govern themselves, to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. You heard that before? Every soul has the capability of doing that. It's not until you get comfortable with people handling things for you, or people telling you that because of this chaos or because crime is skyrocketing, we need police force and we need to be a strong government to protect you from the evil, or whatever the case may be. Once you get comfortable with people telling you that and teaching you that and priming you to be reared up in that kind of way, you lose your individuality or your capability to even show that you are capable of governing yourself, because you have this large bureaucracy of people who are now getting together to tell you what you can and cannot do based upon you allowing it, or based upon whatever handout it is. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is embrace your own sun characteristics and embrace the time that the sun is entering into Capricorn to actually become stern about this. And I think it's a very interesting time because the moon is in the opposite sign, right? So the moon is not co-signing what the sun is going through right now, and vice versa. It's not. You know what I mean? And I know this from building business charts for myself and for people that when you want, for particular reasons, you would want the moon to be conjunct the sun for particular reasons, because it's a cosign of, okay, yeah, you with that, I'm with that too. Let's do it. Let's rock out. But there is an opposition right now, and it's evident. I don't know what side you're on. I guess I really don't care. You know what I mean? But I think this is definitely healthy for discussion. You know what I'm saying? Comment box, all of that good stuff. What else do I have to say about this? Now, if you do want to utilize the cancer construct, right, then this is great as well. If the government shuts down, this is when you start talking to your neighbors again, and your families stop acting like showboats, like, oh, come over so I can talk about you and when you leave, or laugh at whose shoes are not name brand and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a slap to everybody who's been on their high horse lately, like, yo, look, the government shut down. What's all that family dinner shit you was talking about? Like, what's up now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much dry goods are inside of your storage bin? You know what I'm saying? Or y'all still eating Weight Watcher frozen trays and shit like that costs like $6.95 a tray? Or I'm just using an example. I'm trying to be sarcastic too because I want you to feel this a little something. You know what I mean? I want you to understand what I'm saying. So, but again, for business purposes, you heard of family businesses and stuff like that. Like, that's how things was ran in the old days. That's where most people got their last names from. The blacksmiths, the masons. You understand what I'm talking about? Like, because families, clans got together and said, this is what we do. What y'all do down there? all right, we could swap, we could barter. It's a regional thing. But since time has passed on and we've allowed corporation, organization, the sun structure, right, the Capricornian structures to invade and say, look, y'all not efficient enough, or whatever the case may be. I don't know the particulars. But since that invasion has taken place, families have been more concerned, with how much stuff they have potentially, or how people perceive them, how they look in the church, etc. I can go on and on. You know what I'm talking about, right? So a government shutdown will coerce. It will force. I won't say coerce, but it will force. People will have no other alternative but to get right with each other, or be ready to give each other up. Like, yo, I don't even want you as my neighbor right now. Like, who are you? Who are you linked to? You know what I'm saying? Where are you getting money from? Who's aiding you? Like, it'd be one of those type of situations. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, like, because look, this is what else I want to tell you. Like, even though, let's say if the president gets the wall, like, I'm really being neutral and then sort of now. I'm just giving a glimpse at the other side of this, right? Just because if the president gets his wall, it doesn't mean that everything is going to be roses for you either. Because if you don't know, your government is largely responsible for doing the hiring processes for merchants and businesses in the nation. So what I'm saying, the reason why they're used that way is because they have control over a large percent of the population. Now, if you're a strong family lineage, or you have a strong family line, then you don't care what the government does. You already know that you're established in the community. People know you're a merchant. You've been selling things and distributing things for the longest of times. Your people before you have been doing it, whatever the case may be. Even if you're just new on the scene and you started a family business and you're popular and you're successful at doing what you do, there's power in that. So you don't have to go through government to hire people in your business. You can go through your people to hire people. You understand what I'm saying? Same thing happens when you travel abroad and you do it abroad. See, what I'm saying is, like, the difference is you utilize government or you do a greenfield. Now, greenfield is more risky, they say, because there's dangers involved. Because if you go to a foreign land and you just touch down in the hood and you like, yo, what's up? I'm trying to build a store right here. What's good? And you don't know nobody. They might try to extort you. They might try to kidnap you. You don't know. But when you go through government, it's more of a safer way to do it because they have control over what's going on in that region. So you follow me so far? Right? So this can be an upside or a downside depending on how you perceive things to be. But if you got people that you know, and I'm not saying they have to be family members related, right? Because a lot of family constructs these days are people who are not even blood related to you. They're people that just rock with you like that. And you'd be like, all right, we good. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got people like that in a different land, then do the whole greenfield thing. You know what I'm saying? And this could be another thing that spreads and pervades to where people are eliminating their own governments. You know what I'm saying? I know I probably sound like a war strategist or a tactical person right now. So be it, though. You know what I'm saying? I think it's great times. Now, fixed signs, right? You might be scared right now. And if you are, I understand. Because you are used to fixed incomes. You're used to things being the way that they are. You got a Gemini president, which is totally unpredictable. These times are unpredictable. Mutable signs and cardinal signs, they're going to be all right. They're going to be able to adjust to whatever happens, right? Fixed signs, on the other hand, y'all may be ready to flip out after a while. Like, yo, I can't have this. Like, I already know what my check is going to be spent on. And again, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this is good. Maybe this is the time for you to understand, like, yo, you know what? I don't get paid enough for what I do. There's going to have to be some raises taking place over here. There's going to have to be something got to give because it's not adding up no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all I got to say. Like, I know there's stuff that I left out of this, but, you know, I got some other things that I want to get into and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But also remember this. This is the last thing I want to say about government. You know, your taxes, employ them. You understand what I'm saying? So think about that as well. I forgot to tell you to tally that into the whole food, MTA, transportation, and, you know, home fixtures and stuff. Tally that into it too. Tally the taxes that'll be allocated through the GDP back into your own government. You know what I mean? So that's all I got to say, y'all. I'm out.